The spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and it is Saturday. And you know what that means? It's time for all the toy news, action figure news of the week that interested me, that hopefully interests you in a busy news week this week. A lot of stuff from a lot of different toy lines going on in the news, and let's get to it. But first, want to plug the Patreon, of course, your early access chances for all the videos here on the channel, bonus content, exclusive contents, and giveaways. And of course, this month's giveaway is the brand new John Cena Top Picks. All you gotta do is be a member of the old Patreon over there, follow all the rules and all that fun stuff, and that is the giveaway for this month. So make sure you're checking out the Patreon, and then of course, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on these very videos like everybody else tells you to do. But let's dive into the news this week. And like I said, a lot of stuff going on. And let's kick it off with some wrestling news first. Of course, if you did miss it here on this very YouTube channel, was it last Sunday? I believe it was Sunday. I did do an AEW reveals video, as we did get a bunch of different reveals from the Jericho Cruise, the old Rager at Sea, whatever they were calling it there. But we did walk through every single one of those, so we won't do that again here. Check out that video, probably about a half-hour long video, dissecting all those down. But we did get, or later in this week, a little bit more render images of AEW Supreme Series 3, Penta and Rey Fenix. Now, no strangers to the AEW line as Penta and Rey Fenix, as we do know. But these are going to be all the bells and whistles of the Supreme line. Beautiful headdresses, varsity jackets, you name it. It'll be interesting if we can do the 2-in-1s with these. I don't think we're probably going to be able to, where you could grab a Cody Rhodes regular edition and use it with the Ultimate body, because we always got the extra set of legs. Will we get that here? Will we be able to do some of that? I don't think so with the gear these guys wear in Phoenix and Penta, but we'll see what happens there. Might have to get 2 of these to open up. That possibility there, so we'll see. That's AEW Supreme Series 3. Gotta think it's going to still be a little bit before we do have these in hand, because these are just render images. And usually, once we do get the in-package images, things are coming fairly soon. It doesn't look like we're quite to that point yet. So I guess get your wallets ready for the future with the Supreme line. Of course, AEW's answer to the Ultimate line, as we do know. So we did see those. And then, of course, Power Town. We did the conspiracy theory episode last week. I brought my old friend Jesse Ventura into the mix here. I said, Jesse, what are your opinions? Let me spew them out for you. And that's what we did. We talked a little Power Town wrestling. Interesting stuff. And about 2 hours after my video dropped, we got an official email from Power Town. I guess I have that here handy. I could kind of peruse that real quick here. But basically it said, over the last 10 days, we discovered that our Series 1 figures are not responding well to specific articulation, allowing the legs to separate from the hip. Obviously not good. While the figures in their respective packages are receiving incredible reviews on their visual aesthetics, we cannot overlook this limitation, which is really smart. So basically, long story short, they are delaying them, as we said. They are going to all ship. All of Series 1 was going to ship in packs of 3. So the first 3, then the second 3. Now they're all going to be together the end of April. Just very interesting. And I talked all the conspiracy theories. And I don't necessarily believe all those things, but I think there are valid questions that need to be asked. And who knows? It's pretty vague out there. But the really smoking gun here with Power Town is going to be, where are the ones that the quality is not good? Where do those end up? If they do end up selling those as damaged inside the package, problems, figures, whatever you want to call them, then we'll say we're all on the up and up. But if those never do materialize, I don't think they're going to just destroy them. And as they said, they're on the boat to America right now. It's just going to be a really interesting to follow that whole story, to follow the ship, follow all that kind of stuff, and we'll see what happens there. But I think Power Town Group, they made a smart decision. If it is all on the up and up, like you would tend to believe, you would want to believe at least, but we need to make sure the best foot goes forward, no pun intended with these, that you only got one chance at a first impression. You got to make it count. And if everybody got these and they all broke, there would be very few repeat purchases. And I think it's smart for Power Town to do what they're doing. So more to come on Power Town as we get closer to launch. Can't wait to unbox these here on the table. You guys know I'm excited. The Classic Superstars line is like my favorite line of all time. This is kind of 2023's classic superstars in a lot of ways. We're going to get classic guys we never thought we'd get in action figure form. That's what Power Town's going to give us. So I am very excited. I'm probably one of the most excited people on YouTube in the world. Who knows? But I'm excited for the line. We'll just see what happens from there. So more to come on Power Town as we do get it, of course. KWK, we talk about their retro figures about every week. There's some kind of announcement going on, like all these retro companies. But he did show some pictures of the Conquistadors, and it sounds like they're going to be single-carded figures. They will come with a cape, of course. Cape season running strong like a young Lando Calrissian still. Very good-looking figures here. These are amazing-looking retro figures. I hope in hand they look the same as they do look from these pictures, as these look really, really nice. I got to be the first to admit it. I'm very excited to see how these go. Of course, Conquistadors, you need 2 of them. And it'll be interesting, too, or did they officially get the license to the Conquistadors? Is that such a thing? Is it just a very easy one with no legal parameters with it that anybody could make? That would be very smart on their part, but, you know, it's very low overhead, but it is Conquistadors. I mean, we remember them for many years with Edge and Christian playing them. We remember them back to, I think it was the first Survivor Series. They were kind of your jobber tag team at the time. Very cool to get these guys represented in retro form. Going to be very interesting to see how these all net out. So we got those guys. We got Haystacks Calhoun, of course, coming to the KWK, and then Kamala. 3 different versions of Kamala in that line as the line continues to build out. And more retro lines continue to build out, as we did see from Hastel Toys. Wildman Mark Marrow. We saw some artwork of Wildman here. It'll be interesting to see how he goes. One of the unsung heroes of 90s wrestling in some ways. Johnny B. Bad, of course, in his time in WWE, his time in WCW. And it's just very, very underrepresented in wrestling figures. Of course, we got the old school, original San Francisco toy makers, but not much since then. And Wildman Mark Marrow, I mean, we did get some Jack's Bone Crunchers, I guess, but really nothing in the elite, the Jazzware scale, whatever you want to call it. So it is time to get some more Wildman Mark Marrows, and maybe this is the start of things in the retro line. So we'll see how that Wildman ends up going. And the biggest retro news this week for me, of course, was Zombie Sailor Toys coming out with the actual, I guess, production samples is what we would call these, of the Road Warriors, of course, Hawk and Animal. Anytime I got a new Road Warriors figure, I'm excited. I'm all in. Can't wait to get these. Man, these are going to be next level. At least I hope they will be once they get some paint on them and stuff. I would love to see the ones from the copy of the Nintendo game back in the day, the old NWA WCW Nintendo game. I always love the looks of that. It would be cool if we could get those. In figure form, we'll see, but you guys know I love face paint. I love the Road Warriors Legion of Doom, so I am all in on this one. Can't wait to see how that all ships out. And supposedly coming in 2023, and we do know Zombie Sailor is changing his model. I believe after the next set, he is going to be, hey, you order it, it's going to be shipping. Order it and ship. No longer year waits, things like that. He finally got to that point. Bravo to him. That is going to be a total game changer if it's like, hey, we announced this in 2 weeks, the pre-order's going up, and then 2 weeks after that, we're shipping them. That's going to make a lot of collectors happy, and I do think he will get more sales by going to that model, so stay tuned on that as well. Now we transition to a few other things, and our old friends at Super7, we love us some Super7, but they did show up some renders this week of Heavy Metal Ultimate. You guys know I'm all in on Ultimate Heavy Metal figures. Give me all the King Diamonds. Give me all the Papas and Ghosts. Give me all the Motorhead. Give me all the Lemmy. Give me Rob Halford. Where is Rob Halford Ultimate? Give me that one. But we are getting a Cliff Burton Ultimate. Of course, Metallica original bassist Cliff Burton. A lot of people saying, hey, we're going to get the rest of Metallica. I don't think that's in the cards. I guess stranger things have happened, but I think they've just signed an agreement with Cliff Burton. We've got reactions of Cliff Burton, things like that. We haven't got any official Metallica stuff. So Cliff is coming to the Ultimates line. Very, very cool. To me, I'm a huge Metallica fan, obviously. You know, Kill 'Em All is my favorite Metallica album to this day. So I do love the Cliff era. It just feels kind of weird to just have Cliff by himself, though. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Why doesn't it feel weird to have Lemmy by himself or Papa by himself? I don't know, but for some reason Cliff by himself feels weird to me. But I will be getting Cliff. I'm all in on this one. Very cool that they have the Misfit shirt. You got the rings. Of course, you got the bass guitar. Love the extra head sculpts. You got some heavy metal head sculpts there of him headbanging. Just a very, very good looking figure. I'm very excited this one. Of course, these are just renders. We'll see what happens. We don't want the Andre the Giant issue, hopefully, with Cliff. We'll see how it goes. I know a lot of people say they do struggle on human faces, and that is true. But I do think they will do Cliff justice. At least I hope they will, and more to come on that one as well in the very near future. We also saw from Super7, they did tease a little image for some more Simpsons Ultimates, and it looks like we may get Moo Moo Homer, which is a big one. Feels weird though. You get Space Homer, you get Moo Moo Homer. What about everyday plain Jane Homer? They got to get some of the original family members in there. I love a deep cut, but man, you got to get the family. That's what people are going to get irritated and they're going to be turned off to the line if you don't get the traditional figures, or at least figure out a plan to start getting them slowly or something. But it looks like Moo Moo Homer is coming. That is a pretty cool one. I'll be all in on that one. That'll probably be a $75 price point. Something tells me on that one there too as well. And then how about Batman 66? I know there's a lot of McFarlane Batman 66 fans. You guys know me, I play the long game on these. I get these on clearance, but I really do enjoy this. And growing up, of course, that was my Batman. Like a lot of people watching that in cartoons and reruns and stuff, Nickelodeon, you name it, Batman was all over the place during the kids' time frame in the mornings and afternoons after school and stuff. So I watched a lot of that Batman. So it really does hit home for me. King Tut did go up for pre-order. Very cool. Of course, new molds for King Tut here. We do get Two-Face, which is really weird because he wasn't in the show back then. But I guess this is based off of the comic book Batman 66. I guess they're just trying to justify themselves into the line here. So we do got Two-Face coming in there. And then Radioactive Batman. Man, that's a rough one. That's getting the most out of your molds to another degree. Of course, just changing the head color a little bit. I don't know, but Radioactive Batman is coming. And then two that really excited a lot of people is the Wayne Manor Library. And it sounds like the Bat Phone will glow, will light up. I think that's a really cool one there. Of course, it'll probably take some little battery of some kind. But very cool to get a little scenario, a little scene there for Batman and Robin to hang out in. That is pretty cool, I think. And then we are getting a Bat Boat. Of course, the Bat Boat, the famed Bat Boat. Bat helicopter can't be too far around the corner. We've got the motorcycle, we've got the Batmobile, now we got the Bat Boat. The helicopter, I'm sure, will come maybe in 2024, who knows. But very, very cool to see a Bat Boat. Would be great if these scaled with other figures, but we know that's a little bit smaller than our traditional McFarlane DC, Marvel Legends, G.I. Joe, whatever. But it would be really cool to reuse some of this, repurpose some of this for other lines. I guess you could throw it in some Star Wars 3 3/4, but not a lot of lines would play ball with these sets. But very cool at the end of the day, of course. Once again, a Target exclusive, at least in the United States on these. But very, very cool. I'm all for that. And then speaking of Batman, we did see McFarlane DC, and it's been a McFarlane week here on the channel. If you checked out some of the unboxings, I unboxed a lot of McFarlane DC Multiverse figures this week, so it just kind of worked out that way. But we had a lot and got more to come on the channel as well. But we are getting the Dark Knight trilogy. Of course, the Dark Knight, everybody loved that trilogy of movies. I thought they were okay. The Christian Bale Batman voice always kind of got to me a little bit, but I did watch all of them like most people did. But we are getting the Build-A-Figure Bane. That looks really cool. These are, of course, render images, glamour shots, I guess what they call. So they always look really nice, but these really do look really nice. Some of the best McFarlane sculpts I think I've seen in a while, especially based on actors, not comic books and things like that, which this is, of course, based on the movie line. But I thought that did look really, really good. We're looking at Bane as the Build-A-Figure. We've got, of course, Batman. You got to have Batman in there. We do have Two-Face. We did get Scarecrow. And then you got the Joker as well. And, of course, Heath Ledger's Joker is pretty famous Joker to a lot of people, as we do know as well, once again. So a lot of people are going to be excited for that wave. I do have a feeling on that. So we'll see what happens. We'll see where that goes. Speaking of McFarlane, we're going to keep on going. Let's keep on talking the McFarlane stuff. Kyle Rayner, a McFarlane Toys exclusive. Of course, the Lantern series. The Blue Lantern, as some would say. Good name on old Kyle Rayner there. But that is a McFarlane Toys exclusive. So if you're looking for that, go to the McFarlane Toys store. And then also Dick Grayson, McFarlane store exclusive. Of course, Dick Grayson Robin. And you know what I did? I blew it! I blew it. I did. I was in a meeting all day. I saw that go up for pre-order. I said, oh, when my workday's done, I'm going to go to McFarlane store. I'm going to pre-order Dick Grayson. Well, I get to my hotel that night. I go, okay, time to pre-order that Dick Grayson. Sold out. I couldn't believe it. You snooze, you lose. That's what happens. I totally blew it on that one. I own all that. I got to figure out a way to get Dick Grayson, I guess, from the McFarlane Toys. I was just shocked it sold out that fast, but it does make sense. I think a lot of people are looking for the classic Robin, and it being a online exclusive, probably a little bit more limited, is what it is. So I did miss out on Dick Grayson. Hopefully, if you were looking for Dick Grayson, you didn't miss out. You didn't mess it up like I did, but I definitely did, and I'll be looking. I'll be paying eBay prices probably for that one in the future. We'll see what happens. And then they also announced another Joker. Surprise! 2 Joker announcements in 1 week.
Step on the red, cross on the green, never take a ride in a stranger's machine, and always make sure you're burning on turbo power.
Well, here we are. But Joker is going to be a Walmart exclusive. It's going to be part of that Vampire Wave. And that Batman Vampire is starting to hit shelves right now. This is going to be the Joker from the Batman Wave. I know nothing about it, but these figures do look really cool, especially that Batman. I'll probably get the Batman and the Joker to kind of go side by side. I don't know where I'll put them in my collection, but we'll see. I guess you buy it and you ask questions later. You figure it out later on down the line. So it's a problem for future Kyle, as I always do say. But a lot of McFarland toy stuff coming in this week. Just absolutely crazy how much stuff. And McFarland, he is the hardest working man in the toy business. I might be the hardest working man in the YouTube land, but he is definitely in the toy business. Seems like there's a new announcement, a new figure reveal, something every single day. And we're not just talking DC. He's got Spawn properties. He's got Warhammer. He's got that new Dragons line. Spawn, of course. I mean, he's got so much stuff going on, McFarland. Good for him. Good for him. So a lot of McFarland stuff on the channel this week. Probably a lot to come in the next few weeks as well. So stay tuned for all that. How about another one? Super7 Store exclusive / glow-in-the-dark figure. We've seen that with this glow-in-the-dark figures. Super7 is doing them as Super7 Store exclusives. A little bit painful because you have to pay right away. You can't go to the Entertainment of the World, wait for them to go in stock, use discount code Kyle, save yourself 10% like I like to do. Super7 Store, you got to pay up. However, they did announce this on National Pizza Day. It should be a national holiday, a worldwide holiday is really what it should be. That was Thursday this week, and they said anybody that orders turtle stuff on Thursday, you save 15%. Got to get the deal. You guys know that's one of the mottos here of the channel. So I said, I better pull the trigger right now. I better buy a slash. Because normally I would say I don't want them sitting on my money. I want them to sit on my money as few days as possible. So I would have waited to the last day. But if I'm going to save 15%, guess what? I'm pulling the trigger right away, and that's exactly what I did. So I have the Foot Soldier. I got Baxter Stockman. I'll have Slash. I got Muckman. And then the 4 Turtles, I do have those as well. So I got quite the glow-in-the-dark collection. I guess I'm going to have a nightlight eventually on one of my shelves here. But looking forward to those. And once again, getting the most out of your molds is what they're doing over there at old Super 7. And as you guys know, I haven't unboxed any of those on the channel. I got the glow-in-the-dark Foot Soldiers, been up on my Patreon channel for a couple of months. But one of these days, I got to get to all those Super 7 Ultimate Ninja Turtle line. I got the whole series. I guess as of right now, I'm in on card collector for that series. Because I have them all, just haven't got them out of the package yet. So stay tuned eventually for those here on the channel. And stay tuned for the Super 7 glow-in-the-dark slash figure. So there you go. Then we go to Mattel Creations, a very interesting one that came out of left field this week. We did see Evil Lynn, and she is going up on Mattel Creations' website as a Mattel Creations exclusive on Valentine's Day, February 14th, of course. It is kind of the buffed up, jacked up Evil Lynn version. Very interesting. I don't think this one would do very well at retail, in all honesty, and I think this is a smart move, moving it to Mattel Creations. They can charge a little bit more, they don't have to make as much, and they can give us some extra bells and whistles like special packaging, things like that. So if you're all in on the Masters Universe Revelation figures, you're all in on your Masters Verse figures, well, you're probably going to have to go to Mattel Creations and pick this Evil Lynn up. I think it's a smart move, and I think we're going to start seeing a lot more of this from Mattel Creations. And speaking of Mattel Creations, I ordered 2 Frogmongers. I ordered Kane in the Ring. Where are they? I see a lot of people getting them. I don't even have shipping notification yet for mine. So one of these days we'll have Frogmonger. We'll have the Kane in the Ring here on the channel. Just don't know what day that's going to be. But hopefully sooner rather than later. And then I'll be picking up Evil Lynn this Tuesday. It's Valentine's Day Tuesday. I should probably know that. But it is Tuesday this week. So there you go. And then the final bit of news this week, before we get into the album of the week, of course, is the AntMan Wave. That did go up for pre-order, all the usual places, Entertainment Earth, Big Bad Toy Stores, Amazon, you name it. But the AntMan Wave did go up. Of course, the Ant-Man movie, I think, is in theaters now, or this weekend, or next weekend. What is time? I never know what time is. But we are getting a Cassie Lang Build-A-Figure, so a giant human Build-A-Figure. It's going to be looking really weird with that human huge head in the package. That'll be pretty funny to see, but we are getting that as the Build-A-Figure. Of course, we're getting Kang, the evil bad guy from the set. Gotta have Ant-Man, you gotta have Wasp from the movie, so we're getting those. So those are the movie characters there. But then we turn our attention to the comic book characters, and some deep cuts here, but some very cool looking figures. We're caught up in the Crossfire, like the gold game from the 90s. Crossfire looking really good. I've heard some people say they're going to use that as a Lifeline custom in their G.I. Joe Classified. I could see that with the color scheme at least. But Crossfire looking good. Egghead, very cool. A good scientist, of course, the big old Egghead. You pop that head on, put a different head on. Man, there you go. You got an army builder of different scientists you want to mix with your Joes, Marvel Legends, whatever you want to do. A good body there, a custom body you can start building out some scientists in your collection if you need to. And we're seeing future Ant-Man. I have no idea about that. Obviously, it's an Ant-Man from the future, and I'm not familiar with the future. The only thing in the future I know about is Dippin' Dots, and I know the future is now because you can get them at your grocery store. So there you go. Pro tip out there if you're into the Dippin' Dots. But very interesting set. Gotta be honest, I do think it'll probably peg warm. We see a lot of those MCU sets go a little bit to the peg warming variety. If you go back years and years to the last AntMan Wave, those didn't fare so well at retail. Some of these comic ones might be interesting, but they are deep cuts after all, so we'll see what happens. And it seems like a lot of the Marvel Legends waves do go to pretty hefty discounts, be it Amazon, Target, Walmart, wherever it is. I don't know. I don't know if I'm giving the consumer what they want in some instances. Some instances, people are totally against the cardboard packaging, aren't going to buy it unless they get the plastic back. And then maybe it's just the character selection isn't there. I'm not sure. And then, of course, the price. That's always the big one as well. So price sells cars, as we always do say here on the channel. So I don't know. I don't know how well that wave's going to do. I'm very excited. I'm excited to see that Build-A-Figure, and you can compare it to the old Ant-Man Build-A-Figure, kind of have those two side by side. And then the comic figures, I think, look really good in this wave. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll get them here at the table. We'll talk about it like we always do. So stay tuned for that. So there it is. Quite the mixed bag of toy news this week. A lot of this, a lot of that, a lot of things going on as usual. No doubt it always is a busy week on the channel here, as you guys know. But of course, we got to finish up with the album of the week, and we got a little bit of a two-for album of the week this week. And one I did listen to, I finally got a chance to listen to, I was very excited for. A bit of a deep cut, but not really. This band has been around for 50-plus years at this point. They only have one original member still there, so is it really Uriah Heep? I'm not exactly sure. It kind of depends how you sit. But to me, this is a Uriah Heep that's been here for quite some time. So, you know, Mick Box leading the direction there. And I saw Uriah Heep a couple years ago, an amazing show. I was very happy to check them off my concert bucket list. But they got a new album, Chaos in Color, produced by Jay Rustin, giving them a little bit more of a modern sound, which is good. A lot of good songs in this album, but there's about 2 or 3 slower songs, which doesn't do a lot for me. You guys know I like my fast, heavy, and hard, but to be fast, heavy, and hard, you got to have some soft to make those fast, heavy, and hard. So I get what they're doing there. And of course, Uriah Heep isn't a traditional metal band. They aren't Venom or something like that. But a good album, worth a listen at least once or twice. That's how I felt. I love Uriah Heep. Very, very underrated. Maybe more so in North America than over in Europe. But some amazing hits. Check out their greatest hits if that's where you want to start with Uriah Heep. But I always enjoyed Uriah Heep. Very cool to see them putting out a new album. And then a new album that came out on Friday, which I can't wait to dive into. I'm going to be listening to it this week, is Phil Campbell and the Bastard Sons. Of course, Phil Campbell from Motorhead, keeping that Motorhead fire alive. Him and his sons, and they have a singer. They have a band, and they did release a live album. And I love their live stuff. I love Phil Campbell. I've seen them actually in concert on the Motorhead cruise, which was quite the show back in the day. But a live album from them is great. Of course, they're playing a few different Motorhead songs in there. Some deep cuts, but some of my absolute favorite ones. Rock Out is being played on there, and Going to Brazil is on there. So I'm very happy to hear those two of my favorite deep cut Motorhead songs on that live set, plus their live music as well. Check out Phil Campbell. He's keeping the Motorhead love alive, I guess. It's still good to see some remnants of the old days of Motorhead, and that's what Phil Campbell and his crew do bring to the table. So there it is, quite the week. Looking through my notes, doesn't look like I missed anything here. A lot going on here, a lot going on the channel, as I always do say, and your best way to find out what's going on is, of course, subscribing to this very YouTube channel. Hit the notification bell. Things move really fast. You can miss a video. I get messages all the time. Kyle, when are you going to review this? Well, I did it 4 days ago. I did it 2 weeks ago, whatever. So always search through the videos. Most likely, I do talk about it or I do unbox it here on the channel. So make sure you do subscribe. Hit the old notification bell. Don't forget about the Patreon. Of course, we talked about it earlier, but it is your best way to support the channel and all the content. Of course, you get early access to the videos, bonus Q&As, a lot of stuff going over there. Pizza reviews. Oh, yes, we got pizza reviews. A lot of dog stuff over there. You name it. And like I said, it's the best way to support the channel. You can also support the channel, ProWrestlingTees.com. Pick up a See You Later. Got to get a deal t-shirt. You name it. They're all over there on ProWrestlingTees.com. And don't forget to follow along on social media, SirPaul64 on Twitter, Instagram, _Kyle_Peterson. So you know what I'm doing. I'm rocking and rolling, strutting and strolling my way into another weekend. I'll see you guys all real soon.